Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures, where I'll be talking and reviewing action figures from different manufacturers. Today we're going to be having a look at another G.I. Joe Classified series. This is the Iron Grenadier. I'm going to be starting by this one, and I will be afterwards reviewing, of course, the Bat and, of course, the other figure that came out before. But let's stay with the one who came out in 2024. So this figure, as I said, came out in 2024. The suggested retail price for this figure is €24.99. If you're in Europe, it's €29.99. Of course, that does include the taxes. So, before we dive into what do I think about this figure, how does this figure look, the history, of course, of this figure, let's have a closer look at the box. So, of course, this is the one I had the mint in box that I took out. This is the mint in box one over here. As you can see, he is number 132 in the G.I. Joe Classified series. This is the new packaging that they did for this figure. So it does give you a good look and a vibe of what is going to be coming. Of course, this figure has a few issues that we'll be talking about in the history about this figure. But you can see there's some pretty nice detail that we will be looking at a closer look. So now that we've talked a bit about the figure, let's dive in the history of this figure. So let's talk about the history of this figure. So the original Iron Grenadier came out in 1988, and when I heard that they were doing the Iron Grenadier, I was hoping to get this guy over here. I mean, this is something that is everybody wants to have because it's a pretty good army builder. So this one came out, like I said, in 1988. As you can see, I do have a different packaging for this one. This is, of course, the one from my mint in box line. So of course this figure here, I put it in this box because it is unpunctured, so that's the reason why I want it. So of course we didn't really get this one. Now of course we can dive into the 25th anniversary line of the figure. As you can see here, he does come also with a sword. The cool part about it, you can remove the belt. So I don't understand how on a 25th anniversary figure you are capable of removing the belt and not having the possibility to do this with the modern figures is something that I find a bit of a shame. Then something they did also in the 25th anniversary line, they give a bit of a different paint. So as you can see, he is more purplish, and this makes him a commanding officer compared to the regular figures. So as I said, these guys are really army builders, and they're pretty cool figures. So let's put it back into the bag of all my 25th anniversary figures over here, who are of course all the same. And let's move this over here. So of course, as you can see, the figure doesn't really look at all like the one that came out in 98. And the reason why it is because this one is based on this box set over here. So this box set came out in 2012, and this is the ones that they decided to make in the 25th anniversary line. So as you can see, you have this more kind of, I would say, Crimson Guard look to it, more a ceremonial version. As you can see, the fact that it's open, you'll be having a look at that closer on. But as you can see, these are exactly what this figure that they made inspired. So, of course, this is a bit of a disappointment because a lot of people would have preferred to get the original figure than getting this one. Who knows, maybe for the 25th anniversary, for the retro line, we might get it. Anyway, let's dive into what we have in the box and let's talk about this figure and do I believe it's a collectible item. So, what do we get in the box? Of course, we get the figure, we get a removable helmet, we get, of course, a sword, we get a pistol, we get a machine gun, we get a second one, and we get the trademark blaster that it has over here. So, as you can see, he does have this kind of skirt open, he has different parts to be able to add all of this to it. The face mask looks pretty well. There's a pretty well detailed over here, as you can see. Paint application, the chrome on this reddish color that he has on the mask is really nice. The little logo over here from Destro looks really nice, also works really nice. The details on this figure look really nice, but let's be honest, it would have been good that you would have been able to remove this. The fact of being able to remove it would have given you more of a vibe of a figure. Of course, as you can see, there's a lot of reuse parts because this is something, the specialty of Hasbro. So if we dive into the reuse parts, of course, we're going to be talking about this. These are the guns that were given with Big Ben. Of course, they were reused a few times. We had it also with, what's his name? Shockwave in the line of the was the Walmart exclusive because it was a Night Force. So again, these weapons have been used. Of course, I'm not going to go into the details of how stupid this weapon is. I guess I'm going to be saying that every time. The fact of having this MG works also, but again, this would have worked perfectly with a figure like this and not in a ceremonial version of it, because you're not going to be walking around with this kind of gun. Now, the fact of getting a sword that attaches, and of course gold because, well, it's a Destro, and here we have the pistol over here. So as you can see, it is pretty interesting, and let's have a closer look at the helmet. So they went into an extra detail of giving it a little edge underneath. So, of course, when you put it back on, you do get the vibe of having the one that came out a few years ago, the original one from 1988. This is really something. Now, as I was saying when I was comparing this over here, as you can see, we do really have exactly the same kind of opening. So this is why I'm saying this looks more like a ceremonial figure than anything else. So let's have a look at, do I think it's a collectible item, and what are my final thoughts about this figure? So, do I believe this is a collectible item? Well, I do think that it does have a certain collectible value to it. There was a bit of problems in the receiving, and this figure sold out pretty fast in Europe. So I would say, yeah, this is definitely a figure that you would want to get and to have on your list of items to buy if you can get it, due to the fact that this is also a bit of an army builder, so you would be going on to this kind of figure. So yes, as you can see, it is a collectible item. Now, regarding my final thoughts about this figure, I'm happy to see this version. I like the 25th anniversary lines that they did with this commemorative set that came out in 2012 for the convention, but I mean, let's be honest, this is not what the fans were expecting. Everybody wanted this guy. And I mean, come on, we're in 2024 or 2025. This should be easy to remove. This should be just a clip. And if you have watched my reviews regarding our Plan B toy figures, I mean, they managed to do that, and those guys did it in the year 2000. So, I mean, Hasbro should have been giving us this kind of figure with these removable items. Now, afterwards, let's not be too nitpicky, because let's be honest, I strongly believe that when the 25th, the retro line figure might be coming out, we might be getting a vibe of the older figure over there, like they did with the Cobra Viper. So I do think that this is going to look pretty awesome. Overall, I'm going to be really, I do like the figure. I like the idea of having some Destro Iron Grenadiers to go as a more ceremonial, to accompany, of course, Destro when he's going to be coming out with his despoiler, I guess. Maybe that's going to be a San Diego Comic-Con version of it. But yeah, I do think that this figure is pretty interesting. Not what I would have wanted, because again, I'm repeating myself. I wanted this and not the ones from the convention. So I'm going to give this figure a 8 out of 10. Like I said, weapons I'm not a big fan of. I would have preferred to see something else. We also already had the Uzi. So, or maybe reuse of the Crimson Guard weapon would have been a bit more appropriate, due to the fact that this is a ceremonial one more than a combat figure. So, that's going to be it for the review of my G.I. Joe Classified Iron Grenadier. If you like this video, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. Also, you can subscribe to the channel. That's going to help out a lot. And also go and check out my Facebook page, where you can see pictures. I also have an Instagram page. All of that is in the description. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!